Hey, what's going on, my fellow collectors? Today I am taking a look at an oldie but a goodie. This is the Chewbacca Star Wars Black Series from Hasbro. Now, this is the very first time I've gotten this figure, mainly because I've never seen a Chewbacca in my area. But the other day I was at Walgreens and I happened to see it, which was a surprise. And then also on top of it, it was on sale. So hey, gotta grab it. But anyway, looking at the box, it is the standard box that we've been getting with the Black Series. It has the black with the red background to it. It says Star Wars up at the top. It's an image of the character. It says Chewbacca down here. Hasbro has the red background, open window. On the one side, you get the, continued window. It says Chewbacca. On the back, we have a little bit of a read up. And then, of course, it says Star Wars. And then on the other side, it's saying that Chewbacca is number 5. On the bottom you get that, on the top you get that little open window. But that is the box. And as far as the figure, I mean, I gotta say I do like it. I mean, it's not bad for what it is. Taking a little closer look at the head sculpt. Now, yeah, I know, I mean, like, to me, honestly, I like it. I think it looks good. I know it's not the best thing in the world. I know that one of the big complaints with this figure was just how kind of, toyish it looks, and absolutely it does look a little bit on the toyish side. But we do get a nice face sculpt. We get nice sculpting lines all throughout the, fur. You get some shading kind of like on the top of the figure here going down the back, and you do get a little bit of shading throughout the figure, but not a lot, not as much as it really there should be to make it look really, really good. But I mean, overall, the face sculpt's not bad. I mean, the paint is nice. It definitely looks like Chewbacca. As far as the rest of the body goes, they tried their best to make it look like fur, and it does for the most part. But we got nice, sculpt all throughout the body. You get kind of these like cut off parts here, more or less for articulation, but you get some cut off parts, and then coming down here we get more shading on the legs. Coming down to the feet, we get even more shading. And then coming down to his little toes down here look pretty good. They almost look like gray. But side profile. And then on the back, I mean, overall, I think it looks good. For what it is, I think it looks good. And another side profile. And his little, whatever, I forgot what this thing is called, but his little, pouch strap, is done well enough. We do get, gold painted for all the little, pocket things. And then the bag itself looks, okay. Get some little bit of wash in there, some sculpt. And it does hang on him fairly well. It is kind of like, it kind of seems to want to always flop down this way for whatever reason. But I just been kind of tucking it up under this, fur sculpt up here to kind of get it to stay a little bit better. And then, of course, as far as accessories, he does come with his, let me get this down a little bit. He does come with his little gun, which again is not bad. It looks good. I mean, it's basically just black, but the sculpt is there. It does look good. The one issue I do have is it's very hard for him to hold this because this part of it is so low on the handle, and trying to get it in his hand, it just hits his thumb right there. So you kind of got to get his thumb up, and luckily the hands are soft, so you can kind of bend it and get it like around, and it does kind of like bow out a little bit, but that way he holds it much better. And I mean, you can kind of fake getting him into two-handed poses. Doesn't work very well because there's really not a lot for him to grab onto up here. And luckily my gun was not warped. I know that's a problem with these Hasbro, soft plastic guns, is they're warped. Mine, for the most part, is straight. So, I mean, I'm happy with it. And as far as Chewbacca's articulation, we do get a little bit of rotation at the head, but not much. I mean, mainly because the sculpt of the hair is just all up in the way. You don't really get much up and down. The arms do have a hinge and swivel, and they come out surprisingly well. And of course that swivels all the way around. We do just have a single bend at the elbow, which only brings it up about, not even 90 degrees. You do get swivel at that joint, and then the hands do swivel and hinge. We do have a cut right here that gives him a little bit of, basically just rotation. And there is another cut for more rotation at the waist. But there, you don't really get any pivot, any side to side. You basically just only get rotation out of that. As far as his legs, they only come out about that far. They go forward about that far. They go back about that far. I mean, this is soft, but it's, it does hinder it quite a bit, actually. You do have a cut here at the thigh, so you get rotation out of that. You get a single bend at the knee, which brings it about, not even 90 degrees. You do get swivel there as well. And for the feet, there is a hinge, but because the sculpt is just kind of falling all around the foot, you really don't get any movement out of that hinge. More or less, you're just going to get swivel and a little bit of pivot on there. But I mean, overall, I'm glad to finally find it. That way I can, I have a Chewbacca to go with the Star Wars figures that I do have. And I know, as far as, scale, I'm not too like worried about scale, but I do know that this Black Series is probably the best you're going to get as far as fitting in scale with, your other 6-inch figures. Because I know the SH Figure Arts one is a really nice piece. But the problem is that he, isn't really in scale with even the other SH Figure Arts. So I'm definitely glad to have this Chewbacca. He is, get the ruler out here. He is almost smack dab at 7.5 inches, a little under 7.5 inches. And here he is next to good old Han. So you see, that's a nice size, for Chewbacca. I like that. He's definitely taller. Definitely looks good standing next to Han. I don't have any other Star Wars figures in here, but here's just a standard Marvel Legends. Here's a Deadpool. So it gives you a little size comparison as far as what he's going to look like on the shelf. But yeah, guys, that's it. That is the Star Wars Black Series Chewbacca. It's definitely a nice Chewbacca. Like I said, I mean, the detail isn't the best, and it is kind of unfortunate about the hands and him not being able to hold his weapon very well. But overall, I mean, I like it. I think it's great. It's definitely going to go up on my shelf with my Star Wars collection and look good. But yeah, that's the review, guys. Thank you for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next figure review.